Okay, so my name is George Ashton. I'm the CEO and partner at Candide Group, the grandson of a Baptist preacher out of Roswell, Virginia. So I will summon his oratory skills, but borrow the brevity of our Catholic brothers, okay? So hopefully 5 minutes, hopefully 5 minutes. Sunday night, I was watching the news, which if you're at all watching the news, you know it's a very hard thing to do. And then I turned on Spotify to sort of decompress and relax, and I heard an old song by Ray Charles called Hard Times. And it goes something like this. My mama told me before she passed away, she said, son, when I'm gone, don't forget to pray, because there'll be hard times. Hard times, who knows better than I? And I love that, and so I took that as a sign from God to pray at that moment. And in praying, I actually had to remind myself of a few things I've seen come across my Instagram feed and all the other things that we see. The first is Psalms 115:3. The God who belongs to his people reigns from heaven, acts decisively, and accomplishes all he wills. So this time that we're in is intentional for some reason, right? God is still in charge. We're not here by accident. Wasn't some accident in the election, right? Like God is in control, and so we're here for a reason. The second was Romans 8:28, and we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love him. So when I combine that, I'm like, man, there's something we're supposed to learn from the time that we're in, right? It's intentional and something we're supposed to learn. And I think the cautionary tale is sometimes we work so hard to fix the thing that we're in and to get to a better place that we can miss the lessons about why we are where we are. I know, 5 minutes. So I'm going to be quick. And so, as I said before, I'm the CEO of Candide. We're an RIA, multifamily office focused on the pursuit of solving the country's most challenging problems with capital investments, partnered with West and with Apis and Heritage that you'll see here shortly. We work with families and institutional investors that want to join us on that journey. Back to the sermon, we love to do things in threes in the Baptist church. So I'll do 3 lessons I think exist and then 3 paths forward. The first, being right is not the only important thing. If you've been married for 20 some years like myself, you know you can win a discussion and lose it at the same time. And so I think in the impact space, we've been right about a lot of things, but not always bringing others along on that journey. And I'll use the environmental space as an example. So I was in environmental space for a long time, as Felipe said, and we had to save the world, building big projects, putting policy in place to stop pollution, big wind and solar projects everywhere, not realize that we were being ideologically flanked by the opposition, right? And so where we are today is a very hard place, and I think it's a hard place because we haven't really brought the benefits of that clean energy economy to the people in a meaningful way across the country. And so I'm really proud of the work we're doing in the collective investment vehicle we call Afterglow at Candide, where we're really focusing on community-led solar projects and community-led renewable solutions that really bring the benefits of the clean energy economy to everyday people. We think that will build a grassroots support for the movement. And so that's a lesson we're learning, right? And learning at this very hard time with the Big Beautiful Bill is how to build more consensus and how that can support change in the world. Lesson 2, moving minds comes before moving change. In our housing work, we've been focused, and I think rightly so, on new models for owning houses and co-living and really a lot of like innovative but more pilot-like issues, not realizing that most Americans cannot afford the unsafe places in which they currently rent, right? And while we work on all that cool, innovative stuff, the numbers for like people who are house burdened continue to rise month over month. And so what we've done is we've tried to make some space now for larger scaled solutions that tackle hundreds of units of housing. We just invested with Vistria, a very large housing fund. So to try to get to what's happening in everyday people's lives, while we also figure out how to do systems change work, right? Another lesson we've learned from this time. Lesson 3, inclusion by exclusion comes at a cost. I often joke and jest that BIPOC and women-led means everybody but white men. And I don't think that's the tent that we can continue to build. Jesus taught us that we need to include everybody in our mission, in our path, and in our journey. And so we're starting to think more holistically about how we invest and work with everyone, different aspects of missions here, there, and everywhere to make for a bigger tent. So those are the 3 lessons. Path 1, lead with love, not with laws. So on the shareholder advocacy work that we do, we push for a lot of policies to help corporations be better corporate citizens. But we also need to think about how we move minds and hearts and how we move through love and not just being right and forcing like an arms race to the best policy, right? Congress is not the only place to get good things done. Out in your communities, community-level work is important as well. Leads me to path 2, which is taking the time to teach. As Jesus walked the earth, he taught a lot, not to hear himself speak, but to sort of share with us minions what his wisdom was, right? And so I think we need to do the same thing. So at Candide, we're doing more of pushing our thoughts out to the marketplace with our partners and also with our clients. But a big part of teaching is also listening, right? Listening to other perspectives, hearing good questions and coming up with answers. And then path 3, amass a crowd and bring them along. And so in the same vein, ultimately need to bring everyone along on this journey. I think spirituality is a common thread we can use to do that because both sides of the aisle claim religion. And I think that's something that we can do as a part of this movement. A final quote, Revelations 3:19, he corrects and disciplines those he loves, highlighting the purpose of correction. Correction is love. And this feels like a corrective time. I don't know how you guys feel, but it feels like we're getting corrected for something. So don't miss the lesson. Understand what we're trying to be taught in this time, and then we can carry those lessons forward as we come out of this through God, who's the only one who will bring us out of this, to a better place, and use those lessons as we implement going forward. So I think in our sessions we can talk about what lessons are we learning, how is your work shifting as a result of the current environment, and that's all I have.
Thank you, George.
Thank you.